part of the reason I joined Robson Laidler was because of Martin, but it was I don't mean to say anything bad about accountants here, but nearly every accountant that I've ever met, apart from the guys at Robson Laidler, you know what I'm talking about. Not much personality, quite hard to have a conversation with. They don't really interact that much, and they're a little bit dry and things. That's what I've always thought accountants.
That's because they're accountants, Terry. It's because they're accountants.
Sorry, you tax advisors are much better crack on you. But even the other accountants at Robson Laidler seem to be a little bit different, forward thinking, good with tech. And I think that's more relatable for me as a young business owner.
I think a lot of people still think accountants are the dusty pinstripe suit. And there are still a lot in the profession like that. It's changing now, mind you. You know, there are a lot
to adapt, doesn't it?
Like that.
It has to.
It had to, because the buyers now, our customers have changed. You're our customer now. You don't want to see us in a pinstripe suit. No. You know, quoting section numbers from legislation and stuff like that. So you know, that was lucky for me, because I was never one of those people anyway.
Yeah, that is one thing that you've mentioned, the section 24 thing, or whatever that particular rule may be called.
Yeah.
You don't seem to give me anyway any of that jargon, and you simplify stuff, which I think is a really important skill as a business owner, to understand tax and to understand why you do what you do and how you build your business profitably, as profitably as possible, but also keeping on the right side of the line. But, you know, it's educating, I think, that you guys done quite well. And you educated me. You know, when I first came, I was like a shoebox full of receipts. Like, although the business was turning over quite a bit, it was like, here you go. He has a spreadsheet and some bank statements. Whereas now the zero, receipt bank, and all these things. But you guys educated me, which I really appreciate still. And I put a lot more value on that side of business.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's heard the old saying, people buy people, and it's so true. But there are very few people who can have no people skills and yet excel. You know, Mark Zuckerberg is probably a good example. Yours just seems like a bit of a dry.
Yeah,
there's nothing about
you wouldn't
him
have
to
a
me.
pipe, would you?
Yeah, I mean, in any normal society, he wouldn't be the voice piece for the world like he is at the moment. It's just that he created a bit of exceptional tech. But most people can't do that. Most people can't be exceptional at the thing they want to do. It's very hard to be the best Bricky, the best Sparky. So what you've got to do is you've got to realize that you need another skill set. And I honestly think communication is the best skill set you can have. It's the most adaptable,
I agree.
most flexible, most versatile skill set you can build, is being able to sit and look at someone, talk to them in a language that they understand, and leave them feeling like you've listened to them, that you care, you know. But you can't fake that. You can't fake it. You've got to be able to do it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And it's not taught at schools, is it? It's not. They don't put any importance on communication skills in general at all at school. It's all of mice and men and Bunsen burners and all this nonsense that doesn't really apply to the world.
What's interesting you say that, Terry, because we've done various like days at schools doing, I don't know, careers days and all kinds, and some schools do, and it's the bit that people won't want to hear, but the private schools know this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we've been invited as local businesses to some of the local private schools, and when you turn up, you're welcomed by the students.
Oh, wow.
They ask you if you want any food. They come up, they ask you questions. They practice that communicating as well as nailing the history and the geography and the French and all that, you know.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think you get that.
No, I certainly didn't.
There was none of that at Hewitt Grange Comp, let's put it that way. Well, they were just glad if you turned up, they ticked you in and, you know, sent you off to French.
That was it, yeah. And
I mean, again, I still remember the careers. Go on.
Yeah, talking about accountants needing to evolve with the times, I think probably the education system does. You know, I think there's nothing taught about money. There's nothing taught about. I mean, we're digressing a bit, so I'll pull it back. But But yeah, you know, there isn't anything at school about money, about interest rates, mortgages, all the stuff that you actually need as an adult to live your life isn't taught. But